This is Gemara Nazir Daf Samoch Gimel Baruch Hashem, back on our regular schedule. The final few days, the final few daf, Baruch Hashem. I believe we have 5 daf left. We have 3 daf left. Samoch Gimel, Samoch Dalet, Samoch Hey, Samoch Vav, 4 daf left. B'siyata Deshmaya Nazir is on the horizon. Today's shir again should be bringing a tremendous chos refuah shlema to Yudasviv and Sarah Leah b'siyata d'shmaya. Talmud Torah keneged kulam, each word of Torah should bring incredible yeshuas and refuahs. We pick it up from the Mishnah on the bottom of Samach Beis Amid Beis. Says the Mishnah, Ovar mikeneged panav. Continuing, we're discussing the Nazirus of an Eved. And we spoke about the fact that an Eved's Naziros is not La'ilam. The annulment of the master, I should say, is not La'ilam. And when the Eved leaves the possession of the master, then the Naziros kicks in. So says the Gemara, what happens if the Eved runs away? He doesn't get freed. He runs away. Does that factor in to his Nazirus? Says the Mishnah, Rameir Oimer, Lo Yishta, he has din of a Nazir. Rav Yosi Oimer Yishta, whereas Rav Yosi says that no, since Rav Yosi says, Yishta, he should drink wine. Why? Because this is the same master, since he undid the Nazirus, that's going to stand even after the Eved ran away. So says the Gemara, what is this machlokes Rav Meir and Rav Yosi with regard to Nazirus? Suggests the Gemara, Leima b'dishmuel kamifliki, which Shmuel, Damar Shmuel amafker avdo yatzal cheiros. When one is mafker, makes his Eved ownerless, yatzal cheiros, he goes free. And he no longer needs a document, a debt of release, because you're mafker, your act of hefker, your act of making him ownerless, allows him to go free. So suggest the Gemara, Meir Islay Lishmol. Meir holds of Shmuel. So this Eved runs away. The master says, oh, chaval, I'm never going to get him back. He's mafker him. What's the halacha? Now he's a free man. If he's a free man, lo yishtek, because his Nazirus comes back into play. Rav Yosi Leslay the Shmuel answers the Gemara, no, that is not the machlokes. Loi, the Kuli Alma Islu the Shmuel, everyone really could hold of Shmuel, that if you're mafker, the Eved, he goes free. Elaman, Damar Yishtek, according to Rav Yosi, why are you allowed to drink? Why is the Eved allowed to drink? Savar. Soiv Midar Hadr. The master is not mafker. It's true. We hold of Shmuel if the master is mafker. But if the master is not mafker, says the Gemara, says Rav Yosi, that what? The halacha is, Soif, he thinks he's going to come back, and since he's going to come back, Vasi gabe lishti chamra, let him drink wine, let him give him the chizik, the same way the master originally undid the Nazirus, so that the Eved could have strength. So to anyone's array, I don't want him to become weak. Whereas, what does Rameir hold? The master thinks, no, let him not drink wine, let him feel a little bit in pain. Why? So that the Eved comes back, he's going to realize, in his old master's household, he got wine, he got treated excellently. So that's the impetus of the machlokes. They're not arguing within Shmuel. They all could hold fundamentally of the din of Shmuel that a mafker avder yatzal cheiros, rather it's a sidebar machlokes. We turn over to Samach Gimel Amid Aleph, and the Mishnah continues with the case of a Nazir shegilach. We have a Nazir, and as the top Rivan, the Mefarish speaks out, we're discussing tiglachas of a Tahira. A Nazir Tahira finishes term. Day 31, he goes and he shaves. But then, he finds out afterwards, I was tamei. Again, the Mefarish speaks out what type of tumah, b'tumah smeis, which of course is a type of tumah which a Nazir is not allowed to be metameh. Says the Mishnah, in tumah yadua, if it is a known tumah, which we have to define what that means, soiser, then his Nazirus is destroyed, he has to start again. If it's a tumah of the deep that you don't necessarily know about, einoi soiser. Says the Gemara, Says the Mishnah, that's all if he already shaved. Before he shaves, says the Mishnah, Benkach Seiser in all scenarios, messes up his Naziris and he has to start again. So Ketzad, says the Mishnah, what is the case that we're referring to? Yar Litval B'Mayra. He went to go dip in the mik, but he didn't have a mik, so he went into the cave, a primitive mikvah, V'nimsa, then he finds out, there is a corpse floating on top of the water of this wonderful mikvah in the cave. What's the halacha? Then he's tummy. But nimsa mishukang b'karka. But if the mace is sunken into the ground of Hamayra, there's no way he could have known about it. And then the halacha is that what? If you're in the haker, if you just went to chill, to cool off, he's tar. Litayr mitumas mace, or if you went to use it as a mikvah, tame. Why? Shecheska is tame, v'cheska is tar, sheraglayim ledavar. So says the Gemara, let's understand this din of a Nazir that already shaved, and then he finds out that he was tame. Menani, immediately, where do we know this? Says the Torah, Chiyamos meis alav. Says the pasuk, Bepeta b'taim, that if someone were to die suddenly, alav next to him. So explains the Gemara, what does this mean? B'mechuveres lai, that the only time it is soiser, it uproots, it destroys his naziris is what? B'mechuveres lai, when it is clear to him what happened, which of course comes to exclude if there's tumah tahaim, if there's a dead body buried beneath which no one knew about, then it would not be soiser the entire naziris. Continues the Gemara, Reish Lakish Amar, no. Amar Kra, Ki Atami L'Nefesh. Says the pasuk, if he becomes tummy to a soul of Derech Rechaika, or to a faraway land. So we put Tumah next to a road. Ki Derech, it teaches us that dinim of Tumah are like a road. What does that mean? Quite poetic. Ma Derech Begali, the road is revealed, it's open to all. Avkol Begali. So any Tumah has to be open to all, whereas Tomas Hata'im, Tomah of something that there's no way you could have known about, it's not going to be included. Ask the Gemara Velad Tanan, that which we learned in the Mishnah. Ezeu Tomas Hata'im Kol She'enu Makira Echad Kol She'enu Makira. What's Tomas Hata'im? No one knows that there's Tomah there. But Echad B'Seifa Olam. What happens if there's one person? B'Seifa Olam. No. There you go. I read it wrong. Only if no one recognized the Tama. If there's one person that knew there was Tama there, then doesn't get the din. So says the Gemara, the previous two shitas, let's figure this out. According to the Mandarmer that says that Toma is the din of like a road, it's very good that anyone that knows about it, it's going to be like a derech. It has to be apparent to him. Just because there's this guy Ruvain in a different country knows about this Toma, that makes it mechuveres. To me, what's mechuveres? It means it's clear, I know there's a mace there. So how could the fact that there's knowledge of the mace from one person make it clear to me? Vesun, furthermore, ask the Gemara, Haditanya, that which we learned in our Brisa, 10 lines at the bottom, verse 1 line is mace. Mace, mushkav l'rach v'shalir, if you have a mace lying across a road, betruma, tamei ben Nazir, is yes Pesach tar. So there's different dinim and so on cross by that road. There's different dinim. With regard to the asiyas of the Pesach, what's the halacha yatar? We have Karban Pesach coming up. Mirta Shem, regarding Truma, he's Tamei. But again, so we see a split between Truma versus Nazir and Pesach. Ma'ishina, so what's the chilik? Thomas Atayim Gemara, Gemira says the Gemara, you can't ask from Thomas Atayim because it's all one big halacha leMoshe misinai. Continues the Gemara, what did the Mishnah say? Ad shaloi gilach. The Mishnah said, if before he was Migalech, so opening opening case of the Mishnah. Excuse me, not the opening case of the Mishnah. Second case of the Mishnah. Says the Gemara Mantana. So Amar Rav Yochanan Rav Eliezer he Amar Tiglachas Ma'akefes. The Tiglachas holds back. So if before the Tiglachas happened, you have a din of a Nazir. Whereas according to Rav Eliezer, that's Rav Eliezer, that you're a Nazir until you do the shaving. Whereas according to the Rabbanan, we're going to see that's not going to be true. So Boi Rami Bar Chama, 3 lines at the bottom. Nitva b'toich ma'al meleois. V'noida loy lachar meleois mahu. One of these Geshmaka questions sort of proves to us that there's no such thing as a bad one if. Says the Gemara, if we have an interesting case where it brings out the Chiddush, that's the best. So what happens if he became Tameh within his time in the Ziris? But he didn't know about it, Lachar Meleyos, after his time in the Ziris. Tamau, Basi Yedias Linon, Yediachar Meleyos. Do we say, when did you find out? He found out afterwards. Oh, you lie, or no, do we say, he found out prior? Says the Gemara, Lamai, for what is this relevant? Lemisar. This is relevant to know that he destroy his whole Naziris, meaning, once you become Tameh, of course, you need 7 days to become Tar. But if it's Saiser, your entire Naziris, then you have to redo whatever your Naziris was. If it was a year, it's a year. If it's a month, it's a month. So we turn over to Samach Gimel Amud Beis, and says the Gemara, Amar Rava, Tashema. Says Rava, let's try to bring a raya. What did the Brisa say? What did the Mishnah say, excuse me? Before you shaved, in all scenarios, it's Saiser. So, if he found out within this Malayos, within the 7 days, so what's the Chiddush? So, what do you see? It is Saiser. Says the Gemara, I'll still ask you, Kulai Saiser, Shiva Saiser. Very good. You told me that it messed it up. Excuse me, but how many days? 7 or 30? Meaning, if we say 30, Niagara Falls going on over here. If we say 30, that means he has to redo the whole Nazir, so however long it is. 30 is always Tam Naziris. Or is it just 7 days to become Tahar? Says the Gemara Laman. Pshita the Kulusaiser. According to the Rabbanah, there's no Shaila. The Elul Rav Eliezer, the Shita Rav Eliezer that we've learned many times, that says, Kol Achar Maleo Shiva Saiser, that after you finish the days you're Naziris, you come Tameh, you don't have to restart. What do? You have to just wait 7 days. So which one is it? So Amr Lacha says the Gemara, Hani Milikin Etbar Achar Maleois. This is only if you became Tameh after the Nazir's term completed. File of name Leoisu. But this guy, when did he become Tameh? Earlier. He didn't know about it till later. So you're in this funny little middle ground. Oy Delma, Shani Achadei Diachar Meleis. Maybe you go with the knowledge. Uminaka Tani answers the Gemara Benkach Ubenkar Seisav Leikamifki, from the fact that it said a broad, strong statement. Benkach Ubenkach in all scenarios. What's the din? It's Seiser. This din will be no less. Continues the Gemara, Samach Gimel Amud Beis, 10 lines down. First one line is Ubein Kach, Tanu Rabbanan, HaMoitzi Meiz Mutal Rachava. The case we just quoted on top. You find the maze, you find the corpse lying across the road. Shal Derech L'Truma. And it wasn't any road. It was a road, excuse me, incorrect. Mutal Rachava Shal Derech, across the road, L'Truma. So says the Brisa with regard to Truma, Tameh, this should sound familiar. But Nazir, Brisa Bezach is Tahar. So now that's the case. The case is a mace lying across the road. For Truma, he's Tameh, Nazir Bezach is Tahar. So B'bad Devarim Amurim, says the Gemara, what's the case? She'ein Lai Makam La'avar, that he know the way to pass. Aval Yesh Lai Makam La'avar, Af L'Truma Tahar. Then even for the Truma, it's going to be Tahar. B'bad Devarim Amurim Shamatzu Shalim. That's only if you found the person completely. Aval Meshabar, Amifurik, Afilu Ein Makam La'avar. Chai Shina. And then you're still going to have a Chashash. Why? Shema Bein Abrakim Avar. Ubekever. Shema Bein Abrakim Avar. Says the Gemara. Afilu Mishoivar Umefurak. Says the Gemara, even if the body is chopped up, So says the Gemara, Avol Mishabar and Befurak, the body is broken and dismembered, Av Tameh, Mimnei Shekever, Mitzar Foi. You know why it's Tameh? Because the grave pulls all the bones together. But could be you're not going to touch it, I can carry the tama. So then it's going to be impossible. So again, if it's Meshavar Mefurak, there's no way to pass by this grave. There's no way to bypass this mace. Still, we have to say maybe he passed between the limbs, but not over any limbs. However, what's the status if this mace is in a kever? Then I feel Meshavar Mefurak. The mace is completely destroyed. Tameh, one, the shekever mitzarfo, being in the grave, is mitzarif, combines it all. Only if you're walking on your feet. If you're loaded with a burden, you carry something, or you're riding, what's the din? Tameh. Why? When you go by foot, when you go by foot, it's possible you didn't touch. You didn't move, you didn't become a road over any of the tumas. But if you're riding or you're carrying something, it's impossible. You're not going to come to any sort of contact of Thomas Ames. Only the Tama of the deep. Everyone is Tama. What is the case? The same answer, it's dependent upon whether it's person is recognized or not. Concludes today's daf Tamon that if it was covered over with straw and pebbles, that's the din of the deep. But what if it's not really covered over? It's just the ocean, the darkness, the different crevices in the walls of the rocks. It's not Tumah of the deep. This whole chiddush is only a din of mace. That is the din of Tumah Satayim. And tomorrow we'll delve a bit further into the way the Kitzad Yarad, the case of what if you already titled, what's the story afterward? We'll pick it from here in the next year of Siyata Dishmaya.